This is a Serpentis Fleet Shipyard, 10 of 10 in a Praxis. You see the screen over here. So basically the fit, I am resistance locked by cheap resistances. So Dread Crystals, very cheap, well, like 4.5 mil. And I'm getting a resistance similar to a Ishtar. However, I didn't have any prop, and my signature is about 3 times as big as an Ishtar. As refits, I do have a wait, don't I have a mobile depot first that I can fit in over into the escalation itself, and I do have link augmenter for the range, basic control, and one damage amplifier for damage. Especially if I'm sitting on a tower area, every single NPC died, I will refit for the damage. Okay. Okay, Transport can get eaten again. Let's call them. Okay, here I'm gonna switch to different heavy drones. I have Augurs with me, just to punch through hole, and I don't have other resistance, other missile types, at least not for this NPC. Should have brought it some missiles with thermal damage, but that will be fine, I guess. Okay, it's the Augurs. That went pretty small. Okay, sufficient range. By the way, I do not have any implants, and my single booster, which is currently not in use but in cargo, is a standard blue pill. Just in case shit hits the fan and I will need a little bit more taking. But I think it's gonna be fine. Judging from the numbers right now. So the reason I have more range is due to hydraulic bay thruster. Usually I have like 45 kilometers, such 47, and that one gives me additional range on the missiles. So with additional range, I will be able to stay away from the stronghold, or how it's called, the structure, the last pocket, and just be on the border and start shooting the structure. Here we go. And second room. Do not being a widow, I'm not gonna go in a alpha and beta room. I'm gonna just go straight in a main room with the tower and the loot. The reason is alpha and beta rooms may have loot on commanders. However, the chances to get a commander spawn is very, very low. And I didn't check in the first room whether there was loot or not. I forgot about that one. Okay. Okay. It was a mistake. Send my drones over there. Come on, survive, please. Barely. Or not, I did lose one. No, didn't lose one. Oh. Samadio, August again on the commander spawn. See, he's over here. Okay, commander spawn is empty, there's nothing inside. So theoretically I could bookmark it and salvage it with T2 salvage. I'm gonna save the time. So since there is no MWD, you don't need that much capacitor, or at least that way. And MGD doesn't require, you don't need to be Omega to fly the ship. However, you need to have high skills, and even if you don't can access the GG drones, you're gonna switch to faction drones and it will be just fine. In the final room, when on the station stays, with Omega I have like 1300 DPS on the Praxis, but even with Alpha you will have sufficient number of DPS to kill the structure itself. Okay, so what did you work with here? Okay, I'm shooting with the wrong drones. Okay, as an Omega you have the access to two shield boost amplifier, but as an Alpha you will have only access to shield boost amplifier, compact ones or something, to Capacitor one or Stalwart, and you'll be losing like 3% or so. I'll check real quick how much percentage you will lose. 3.5% on a shield boost. Let's see, and that also will require to downgrade. So you'll be losing 10% on a shield booster. But if you take an enduring one, this one you will have more capacitor available, so it's kind of counteract. Yeah, DPS wise, if you're not cap stable, and if you're not cap stable with an Alpha, just drop a ballistic control for additional capacitor Flux Coil. I don't have one with me, but it will do. So DPS wise, I'm currently at 1133.8 DPS, which is a very high number, even with only 2 ballistic control systems. So the main damage is done with the missiles, and the drones are supporting. And so these ones, the rapid heavy top missile launcher, do not require being Omega. However, the skill tree will, as an Alpha, you'll be able to use Tick 2 heavy missiles. Here we go. So from what I see, I don't see any battleships or any NPC left on grid, only the towers, which gives me access for the last room. Here now, last room. Same idea as with an Ishtar. Get the initial spawn over here. Okay, I actually don't need to refit right now. Come back here, John. Okay. So the only reason I'm currently using Mobile Depot, I'm gonna switch the Ogres for another set. And I'm gonna go with Predators, which will be needed for the station itself. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's start moving. I need to be 51 kilometers away from the station. I need about 12 kilometers to get out of the web range. Here we go. Another small thing to know, as long as you are in the web range of the stronghold, the stronghold doesn't web your drones. So you can abuse technically staying kind of on the border and web your ship. Stargo will be away from your drones as much as possible, at least. I might gonna need to switch for drone link augmenter to have more range on drones. Let's see. So that one can punch, but for another two I don't have range with missiles and drone navigation. I'm blind. 87.5. That should have been actually sufficient. No, that's the targeting. Drones navigation 57. So yeah, might be an issue. See, drone damage. 349. I'm gonna take a little bit to kill those. Actually, I don't need to kill the towers, but I have 50-50% chance that the drone's gonna switch to a better ship when I gonna kill those two towers, and if I didn't. That's bad. Nope, that's useless over there. So, since I am not 50 kilometers range, I cannot punch through the, or not effectively through the shields and the armor. I would prefer to getting out of web range first. But then, since the battleship is there, he might gonna switch for drones, therefore I would like to kill that one. And for that I would need to refit first place. And by the way, shooting at that range with missiles won't do any good. So that one can be unlocked. No reason to shoot on them. So damage output of the tower and the battleship are kinda okayish. Due to resistances, you can tank it pretty easy without speed tanking, or it's not. So that battleship is getting closer, which means I can actually drop the sentries without refitting, which is interesting to be honest. Okay, let's burn away again. I will need additional 2 kilometers. Here out of web range, which means that I will need to refit for max damage. And drones need to be switched for AM. So the idea is to shoot the shields in an AM hole. Armor won't be regenerating, but the shields will. So I can shoot at the resistance hole with AM missiles and AM drones, which I have already refit, by the way. So switch for Predators, switch for AM missiles, for the Mjolnir missiles, and go for the tower itself. Usually with the Ishtar and Kinetic drones, I will need 10 minutes to clear the tower. But with higher alpha and the right damage profile, I will be shooting faster. And looks like that was get webbed or something. Anyway, Mobile Depot is nearly online. And I need more damage. Go away, don't need that. Resistance wise, I put down a couple of that. So, if I recall, that I should shoot thermal. Not receiving any damage whatsoever currently. Well, where's my drone? Still traveling. And no more drones in space. Let's go for the Predators. Here we are, going through armor. So my DPS went to 1400 DPS, which is a decent number, but like very decent number for the Praxis. And why is it wrapping? Am I not in range? Something shouldn't be wrapping, but it does wrap. Okay, let's get another kilometer also. It's kind of broken. What is the reason? And why are my drones taking damage? That's weird. Absolutely weird. So that like, Ishtar can punch through, but that one cannot. I think it's broken. I think the site is broken because you need to be 50 kilometers plus so the tower doesn't wrap. The tower wraps. Well, in that case, I will need to punch through out of ammo, and I might gonna lose the drone. The forward traveling didn't help. I don't know what's going on, to be honest. If that's the case, with so much DPS, I'm just gonna punch through the wrap. And do I have the right drones? Not quite. I would preferably shoot with explosive then. That's what it is. Okay, now it's worked. What the heck is going on, to be honest? gets broken. So it's very broken, to be honest. Yeah, it will work. So next time I probably will do the same if I need to do it in a Praxis, burn out to 50 about, and start shooting back. Stay on the border so the rep doesn't work, and I'll say a little bit, send drones in, and then go outside so the tower kind of stop repping. But yeah, it did work. The tank did hold. Price-wise, the fit is 360 mil. So it is with the ship of the whole itself. The rigs are cheap. D1 very replaceable here in Nullsec, and if you're industrious, you can build himself. So faction-wise, you will only need the faction. Those Dread Choristas fair cheap. If they're not available locally, you will need to go into Jita or order them from Jita to acquire them. So I still had the room for the standard blue pill if she hit the fan, so I couldn't tank. But it went pretty well, like literally very well. Am I still getting through? Not. Yeah, I just still didn't get through with the drones alone, but it takes a while. So what's the drone damage here? So my DPS went even more up. I'm at 1436. And that's only the two ballistic control systems and drone damage will fire, which is weird. Here we are. The escalation is completed. Now the only thing you need to do is to bookmark the container. I have no idea which one it is. Let's see, all visually, I think that's this one. So only thing you need to do, warp out, wait 2.5 minutes so you can warp straight on the container and scoop it. At that time, the escalation will despawn. Or you could burn into, but with that speed it's gonna take a little bit. Therefore I just prefer to warp out and warp in. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.